last night is basically just the framework which Congress will work in to pass the $1.9 trillion COVID relief measure. That did not pass last night, and I know that gets a little confusing in all of this. During this vote-a-rama where the senators stayed up all night, one of the measures was to say it was an amendment to say you can't raise the minimum wage during the pandemic.
How's everybody doing today? I hope you're having a great weekend so far. Happy Saturday, and hope all of you are having a great day.
We just left a meeting with President Biden where we had a discussion about how this legislation meets the needs of the American people. As our colleagues may be aware, early this morning, before 6 a.m., the Senate passed a budget bill which is identical in instruction to the bill that we sent there. We had the debate on that bill on Wednesday. It passed with a strong vote in the House and then went to the Senate. It comes back to us now, and we're addressing it. So that's what brings us to the floor now. What brings us to the floor now is the opportunity to crush the virus, to put vaccines in the arms of the American people, money in the pockets of the American people, children safely in school, people back in their jobs. We can do that following the science and good governance to make it happen. We must do that in a way that addresses the disparities. It's almost sinful to see how the disparity in access to some of the vaccines and everything that happened up until now. As I mentioned the other day in the debate on the budget bill, the GAO has put out a report that at least 90% of their recommendations to the Trump administration on how to address the COVID crisis were ignored. 27 out of 31 were ignored. This legislation, again, based on science and knowledge and respect for all of the people in our society and in our country, addresses many of those concerns in a more current way, as now we have more access to vaccines and people more willing to participate because they have hope. And that's what this legislation does. It gives us hope. It is a reconciliation bill, which means we can just pass it with 51 votes in the Senate. It would be my hope that we don't have to use it as a reconciliation bill, that we will be able to have bipartisanship with that facing of the facts of what is needed to meet the needs of the American people, both in this body and in the United States Senate. But in order to have a guarantee,
I think I've gotten through to a number of people because the word dreamer now is really signifies more this citizenship status than anything else. I joke that when I first started this mission, if you would have asked people who were the dreamers, older folks would have said, why, that's a British rock group, a fellow named Freddie, who's a lead singer. But today, when you mention the word dreamers, people automatically think of these young people and their situation in the United States, which to this day, because of our failure to pass the DREAM Act, is still unresolved. They came to the United States as kids. They're American in every way. They went to our schools and they stood up every morning and put their hand over their heart, pledged allegiance to that flag, the only flag they've ever known. They thought they were just like the kids next to them. And then one day, the parents sat down and told them the reality. They go to school with our kids. We see them in church. We know that they stand by the beds of our neighbors.
And this is a non-binding amendment, so certainly Congress could do it anyway, but what Republicans were hoping to do was to force Democrats to have to vote on that particular measure. Senator Sanders stood up and surprised some folks when he agreed with Iowa's Joni Ernst that his bill wasn't planning to raise the minimum wage during the pandemic, but it was over a 5-year period, and that basically allow them to do a voice vote as opposed to the symbolic vote that Republicans were hoping for. So at the end of the day, very little of what happened last night should be looked at.
Some lawmakers are concerned that Biden's plans, however, some lawmakers are concerned about Joe Biden's plan, and that it could still provide stimulus checks to people who do not need them. Research from a recent study that was released this week found that 73% of the $1,400 checks will go towards savings and provide limited stimulus to the economy. And another study from the University of Illinois found that about 8 million Americans without jobs are now receiving unemployment benefits, thus bolstering the argument for sending more direct payments. Everybody tell me down in the comments, should every American in the United States get a third stimulus check of $1,400? Much of Biden's commitments comes from the previous promises to send $2,000 checks. While some congressional lawmakers also advocated for the sum, they were only able to get the $600 payment into the final deal back in December. So $600 plus the $1,400 stimulus checks from Joe Biden would equal a $2,000 stimulus check in total to SSI and SSDI. Here's how you know if you're eligible, everybody. Anyone who is age 65 or older and blind or disabled is eligible for SSI and SSDI. And also if you have limited income and are a US citizen, you can also apply for SSI payments. Now, if you're age 18 or older, they may consider you disabled if you have medically determinable physical or mental impairment, including an emotional or learning problem. The Social Security Administration is committed to providing benefits quickly to applicants whose medical conditions are so serious that their conditions clearly meet disability standards. In addition, in regard to unemployment benefits, almost 40% of jobless workers are long-term unemployed. That's according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics reported Friday, nearing the record 46% set following the Great Recession. Now, according to CNBC, in regards to unemployment, the January jobs reports shows high rates of long-term unemployment, which is a period of joblessness lasting at least 6 months. Long-term unemployment is edging toward a historical peak, almost a year into the pandemic-fueled downturn. Workers are deemed to be long-term unemployed when their jobless spell is longer than 6 months. Almost 40% of jobless workers in January were long-term unemployed, according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics reported Friday. The share has grown steadily since the spring and is approaching the record set in April 2010 in the aftermath of the Great Recession. That's all the news in today's video, everybody. I hope all of you found this video useful, and if you did, don't forget to subscribe to my channel, turn on post notifications, and give my video a like. Thank you for watching, folks, and until next time, have a great day and stay safe.